Audra Wilson has never been one to shy away from the spotlight, but hijacking Caitlin Clark's European contract, that takes her game to a whole new level. This isn't just a story of a superstar making headlines. It's the story of a player with so much swagger and dominance. She can literally change the course of the sport with one bold move. And that's exactly what happened when Wilson decided she wasn't satisfied with simply breaking WNBA records. She wanted something more, something bigger, and something unexpected. So she went for it. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. This audacious turn of events didn't exactly come out of nowhere. Wilson has always been the kind of player to command the floor, both physically and mentally. From the moment she stepped into the WNBA, it was clear she wasn't there to just blend in. If the lead was a canvas, Wilson was the one with the paintbrush, slapping bold strokes of dominance, skill, and attitude onto every corner. So when the opportunity to hijack Clark's European deal came up, it felt like Wilson was just continuing to paint outside the lines, pushing boundaries that no one else dared to. Caitlin Clark, for her part, was no slouch either. As one of the brightest young stars in women's basketball, her mid-to-her rise came with serious potential. So much so that Europe, where women's basketball stars often carve out lucrative deals and expand their game, wanted her. The deal was set, the papers were almost signed, and then boom, Audra Wilson comes flying in like she's pulling a half-court buzzer beater. Clark's dream to dominate Europe put on hold, because when Wilson gets an idea, you better believe it's not just a whisper, it's a roar. Wilson wasn't content with just standing in the record books for most points or rebounds. No, her ambition reached further than the boundaries of the court. Grabbing that European contract from Clark wasn't just a power move, it was a statement. A reminder that while Caitlin Clark may be the future, Wilson is very much the present, and she's still dictating the narrative. Wilson doesn't ask for space, she takes it. And by doing so, she left the sports world buzzing, jaws dropped, and headlines ablaze. What makes this even more fascinating is Wilson's inherent charm, while pulling off something that frankly could have come across as underhanded or ruthless if anyone else tried it. But with Wilson, it felt almost natural. That's her gift. She can make something so brazen seem like it was just meant to be, like the universe was just catching up to her vision of how things should go. If there's anyone who can casually hijack another player's major contract and make the world love her even more for it, it's Audra Wilson. At this point, it's not just about basketball. Wilson is rewriting the script on what it means to be a star in this sport. Yes, she's setting records that will likely stand for a generation, but she's also demonstrating a level of influence that transcends the hardwood. It's the kind of influence where European teams aren't just signing her for her basketball ability, but for the sheer fact that she is Audra Wilson. She's a brand, a force, and at the same time, she's still that player who's laughing, cracking jokes, and dunking on anyone foolish enough to try and stop her. That's the dichotomy of Wilson. She can be all smiles, flashing that signature grin that's as disarming as it is contagious, and then in the next moment, she's an unstoppable force, barreling down the lane and making the opposition look like they're playing in slow motion. And when she's off the court, she's still taking control, making moves that no one else would even dare to consider. Her hijacking of Clark's European deal has more layers than a simple power grab, though. On one level, it speaks to her ambition, her drive to continue expanding her influence globally. On another, it's a message to her peers. No matter how much attention someone else might be getting, Wilson is always one step ahead. It's not enough for her to dominate the WNBA. She's got bigger plans, and who's going to stop her? The implications for Clark are equally intriguing. Clark, known for her insane range and game IQ, has the potential to be a global star in her own right. But when you have Wilson swooping in and grabbing a deal from under you, it sends a clear message. You may be the future, but the present is still very much in control. In a way, it's a wake-up call for the younger stars coming up in the league. No one is safe from Wilson's orbit, not even the brightest of them all. But let's be real, this wasn't just about Europe. This was about Wilson making sure that, even in the middle of her record-breaking WNBA season, the world still knows that she's far from done. She's not satisfied with being just the best player in the league. She wants more, and she's willing to take it. And it's not just about the numbers, either. Sure, she's breaking records left and right. Most points in a game, most rebounds in a season. But those are just the surface stats. What Wilson is doing goes much deeper. She's breaking the mold of what it means to be a WNBA star, transcending the court and infiltrating the global basketball ecosystem like never before. Imagine the mindset it takes to even consider hijacking a fellow player's deal. Most would balk at the idea, worried about the backlash, the potential damage to their reputation. Not Wilson. For her, it's all part of the game. She's not just playing to win. She's playing to own every moment, every opportunity. And the best part? She's doing it with that same unbothered swagger that makes her so impossible to root against. Fans can argue all they want about whether this move was fair, but in the end, Wilson doesn't care about opinions. She cares about results, and right now, the results speak for themselves. She's got the stats, she's got the records, and now, she's got the European contract that was supposed to be Caitlin Clark's. It's hard not to sit back and admire the audacity. It's one thing to be a great player. It's another to completely rewrite the rules of engagement. Wilson doesn't play by the book. She rips the book apart and writes her own chapters. Looking at the big picture, it's easy to see that Wilson's move has lasting implications for the sport as a whole. For years, the WNBA has been searching for that transcendent superstar who could elevate the league to the next level. Someone who doesn't just dominate on the court, but also shifts the entire paradigm of what it means to be a professional athlete in this space. HIJACKS Wilson, with this single move, might just have positioned herself as that star. She's got the game, she's got the personality, and now with her fingerprints all over the global basketball landscape, she's got the reach. And while the sports world tries to make sense of what this all means, Wilson is likely already onto her next move. That's how she operates, always a step ahead, always thinking bigger, bolder. She doesn't just want to be remembered as a great player. She wants to be remembered as the player. The one who did things no one else even dreamed of doing. Stealing a European contract from one of the game's rising stars, that's just the beginning. Wilson's career has been defined by moments like these, moments that seem impossible until she makes them happen. And as much as this latest stunt may have caught everyone by surprise, it's classic HIJACKS. She doesn't follow the traditional path and she doesn't care much for convention. She's there to win, to dominate, and to leave a legacy that will be talked about for decades to come. Caitlin Clark might be part of that legacy, but right now, she's just another player caught in Wilson's unstoppable orbit. There's a certain beauty to the chaos that Wilson brings to the table. It's not recklessness, it's calculated, it's deliberate, and it's thrilling to watch unfold. Every move she makes seems to defy logic, and yet, in the end, it always works out in her favor. And that's what makes her so dangerous. You never know what she's going to do next, but you can be sure it's going to be something spectacular. The hijacking of Caitlin Clark's European deal is just the latest chapter in the legend of HIJACKS Wilson. It's the kind of story that adds layers to her mythos, elevating her from a superstar to an icon. And while Clark will undoubtedly have her time to shine, for now, it's Wilson's world, and we're all just living in it. In the end, it's not just about basketball. It's not the evolution of a player who refuses to be boxed in by the expectations of others. HIJACKS Wilson is rewriting the rules, one hijacked contract and record-breaking performance at a time. And as long as she's in the game, everyone else is just playing catch-up. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.